It's mixed.
Man, you guys are quick.
Okay. Got everybody back? Okay. So we had the executive session to review contract information regarding the water main replacement and some possible legal issues there. So back in session and our, we
Mr.
have,
Chairman, can I voice an objection,
we have
please?
one other issue. We have an issue to take action on regarding that. John?
Mr. Chairman, did you hear me?
No, I didn't. What?
I have an objection, please.
No, that's okay. We're gonna go ahead with this first.
Well,
Take care of it.
it's gonna take 2 seconds. Mr. Hartman knows what
All
this is
right.
about.
Well, what's your objection, Mr. Gadik?
That particular paragraph that you quoted
I think.
refers to identifiable complaints that are expected to. Can you identify the complaints, please?
It's regarding the subject about which there will be a motion in a moment.
Is that a complaint? It's an
There's a
it says identifying complaints.
Yeah, there's a
so-
potential complaint about that subject.
But that's not what it means. It's an identifier complaint, so somebody will sue you. Can you identify who will sue you?
Oh, we gotta move on, Chris.
So the answer is no, just for the record.
I'm sorry, no to what?
That we cannot identify the complaint.
The complaint is regarding the subject about which there's just to be a motion.
Okay, I will wait then. Thank you. Sorry about that.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion that the Infrastructure Committee recommends to council that we award the infrastructure work to Barasso Construction, and I so move.
I will second that motion.
Okay, we have a first and a second to award Barasso the water main replacement work. And all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it and so ordered. Okay. If we don't have any other thing for items on the agenda, then we will stand adjourned.
I did not hear referral to any complaint in the motion. That's an identifiable complaint,
We
and
already went through it.
yeah, but that's not a complaint. That's you just awarded a contract,
That's
and
correct.
that
No, we
paragraph
didn't.
refers to an identifiable complaint. So somebody who is suing you.
The executive session topic is something that can be utilized when there is a potential for a complaint. And there is a potential complaint about this subject matter, and that's why the committee had the right to the executive session.
I will take the word. I disagree. This is not what I read there. But
Thank you.
All right.
have an identifiable complaint. There is no complaint that we're talking about.
All right.
The complaint needs to be identified the moment you get into executive session. But we'll leave it to that. Thank you.
Okay. Again, meeting adjourned. Thank you,
Have a
everyone.
nice day.
Hello.
Good afternoon.
Hey,
Dave,
Dick.
how are you?
Another day in paradise.
Yeah, you got that right.
Hi, Melissa. Thanks for letting me in.
You're welcome.
Hello to everybody else. I'm sorry. I only saw David one time.
Hello, everyone, and Steve. You just said it.
Hello there.
Oh, yeah.
Almost good night. We got everybody here. Thank you for that, Bill.
Or what? The comment?
Yeah,
Yeah, I didn't get an answer back from him, but yeah, that just didn't sound right.
no, I agree. All right,
Hi, Chris.
Hello.
everybody
Got
here.
me.
I guess we got everybody. All right, I have 259 and a half. All right, I guess Melissa, give us a shout there.
Tom Boucher,
Here,
Dave Reeser,
Here,
Steve Brunner,
Here.
John Woodward,
Here.
and Tom Mole.
Here,
before we start, Dave, is there any other water authority stuff that I didn't have on here?
Tom, yeah, I can give you a quick update. It's Dave.
All right,
We are
right.
now running water through the new pipeline directly from the dam,
Yeah,
and everything is running well. We're happy with it. So I never thought I'd be able to see it, but I am seeing it as we speak.
that's,
Secondly, I would just like to comment, if you recall the issue down in Florida where somebody tried to contaminate the water. I
yeah,
talked to Chip about that, saying, could that happen here? Well, there are a couple of things that would prevent that. One, if you indeed dig it into our system, in order to do that, you need a second security code, which is issued by the system itself. So if you aren't in that system, you aren't going to get that security code. And secondly, we have parameters built in that, in this case, the same chemical actually, let's just say it's a components of 100. If you mistakenly or by design put in 10,000, the system will not allow you to do that. So we have parameters set in the system to as far as how much you can allow into the system.
all right, so we have some double checks there.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I feel pretty confident that it would not happen here.
That's good. I'm
I
glad
know.
to hear that. Okay, I kind of jumped ahead here. We need technically public comment first, but
Oh,
we'll go-
I'm sorry. Okay.
no, we'll go back to it now. I didn't want to, after you got started, we didn't want to interrupt, so. Any visitors that have a comment?
Yes, 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 yes.
Should've known.
You see a picture over there. I sent Melissa some pictures. We've had this discussion before about the water quality and the residuals, whatever the heck that is. I am not a lab, but these are some pictures. So this particular picture is from this January. Actually, there are 3 from January and 1 is from August, last August. This is from January, and you see how I collect that gunk with a knife. It is something greasy, I want to say. Like I said, I don't know. Last time, the only explanation from Jim was that the filters are made to filter, which I'm not going to comment on it. What happens when somebody does not afford to install a house filter? It means they eat this or drink it or whatever you have to call it.
Yep.
Our job is to make sure that we don't get this stuff. So these are 6 months filters that I normally change 2-3 months max. So Melissa, you can move through this is a comparison with a new filter. And that yellowish stuff is that gunk that I keep telling you about. Keep going. This is actually the picture from August. This was done slightly different. I let the filter stayed for a while, whatever. So it's still same thing. I think there's another one, Melissa. Yeah, and you can see now here how that gunk comes from the, how it falls from the filter. It's just, I don't know, it's gross. So at the time, Jim, I don't know, so a while ago, he came and he took some water samples from our home, but I don't know what was the point of that, because he came with Western birds. So it's like asking the wolf if he ate the sheep. So it just doesn't make sense. We need some real monitoring here, not by the people who actually.
How do we know that how do we know when and where these pictures were taken and what? That's.
I don't understand the question. What are
The
you?
question is, how would we know even when and where these pictures were taken?
The pictures have a timestamp, and you have my word.
Okay.
So the time you can see the file name. I don't know. Melissa has it. I sent her, and the timestamp, as Mr. Steve Brunner likes to look at them. I can provide you more. I shrunk them so that they can get into an email attachment, but the original is available, and it's the timestamp is in the file name as well as in the properties of the file itself.
Okay.
There's
Jim,
no question.
are you there, Jim?
Yes.
Have you had any other anything like this up in that neighborhood at all?
No, and we did sample his water. Went to an accredited lab and it came back fine. That's my first comment. And my second comment is when you have water filters, I'm sure you change the filter on your air conditioner or heater because over time they filter out particulate. It's the same thing with water.
Mhm.
We keep breathing the air, huh?
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
but again, if your house is clean, you don't have crap in the filter. So the question here is different, is the problem is, again, I don't see your point, Jim. Our job is to not poison the people of Wyomissing. So somebody who cannot afford a filter, in your logic, means they're gonna drink this. And that's okay. Okay, so I don't get your logic at all.
Did you review
Did the lab deem it
standards
safe?
for the water at all?
I,
We get returns from the tests that are done for this. I guess it's every year, Jim, right? When they check all the things.
Our normal testing is for coliform and chlorine. That's the
well, that doesn't.
regular monthly testing.
This is different. This is oily
This is
stuff.
different. This is different. If Mr. Jadik would like us to sample again for whatever concerns he has, we can surely do that.
These filters, if you want, I can keep them and I can hand you that material, whatever is there, that deposit. You can look through it if you want, and you can probably find something. But if you just sample for chlorine and whatever else you said, this is not chlorine. This is
No, when we sampled your house before, and it's been a year, I forget the parameters, but it was iron and some other constituents we sampled for other than chlorine and coliform. So,
well, that's what
we
you
can
said.
do that
I
again.
didn't see any report. I didn't see what you sampled.
Yes, we sent you the report, Mr. Jadik. Yes,
You
we
did?
did.
Then I apologize. If you sent me
Yeah.
yeah, you're right. I kind of remember, but it doesn't matter. This is it. This is real. I'm not pulling it from any other place. My
Okay.
pipes are brand new.
Tom, may I make a comment, Dave Reeser?
You may.
I resent, Mr. Jadik, I resent your comment implying that the Western Water Authority would try to cover up something like this, with your comment about the chicken and the wolf house, whatever the hell it was. I can assure you that if there was any issue, we would cover it, and we would cover it outright and be front and stand and forthright about it. So I resent your comment of implicating our covering up issues. So I would hope you don't do it again.
Well, we're not here to resent each other or whatever. This is the proof. I mean, the only thing I can do is hire a private company, but that is, I looked into it. It's extremely expensive. If you want, I offer you the filters when I take them out. If you can assure us that everything here is safe, fine. So
Mr. Boucher, may I add a comment?
You may.
Okay, Mr. Jadik, I'm just speaking from some personal experience. Do you have a water softener?
No. This is it. This is what's
You do?
from the water. This is attached right immediately after the meter. There's nothing before that.
So you
I
do?
don't have a water softener. So that answers your question.
Yes, it does. Thank you.
So,
Okay,
okay,
well-
so this is my report, you know, like I said, if you want to coordinate, I can, you know, keep these filters. Obviously, these were thrown away. Whatever you want to do, you let me know.
all right,
but
let's
this
do
is real.
this. Let's do this.
And
Jim,
another thing, I'm sorry, because I forgot, the water smells.
oh, of course.
So we have,
All right,
have again, smell in the water. The shower smells. It's
Must
not
be that.
always, but I noticed.
Maybe it's the soap you're using.
Say again.
Maybe it could be the soap or something.
I don't understand.
No?
I don't understand what you're saying.
Okay. Let's have, Jim will talk about it, what we can do here.
Okay, sure.
Okay,
Good.
thank you.
Mhm.
Is anyone else there, Melissa?
I don't know if Mr. Cullen would like to speak.
Oh, sure. Go ahead. Mr. Cullen, I didn't see you there.
No, I don't have any comment. I'm just observing.
Okay, and Chris, I see Chris is on the line there. Chris, anything you want to add for the water stuff?
I don't know. I guess the only thing that I would add is, the authority does regular and frequent testing of the water, both coming out of the plant and also around the borough. And all of our, all of our testing shows that we're within state and federal standards for water quality and safety. If ever that wasn't the case, we'd certainly notify people immediately. And you also have to keep in mind that we're responsible for the water up to the point that it enters your property. So don't discount the fact that maybe there's something wrong with something in your pipes from the curb stop.
You're probably not familiar with my property. There, many people over here know that pipes have been replaced to a large extent from the street to the, so my pipes are new all the way to the meter. There's no concern over there whatsoever. So you probably don't know, not aware of this, but that is not the problem. It's, this is real. We're not lying here. We're not here to pull anyone's legs. This is true. I think it's the second year that I keep presenting this issue.
And just a quick question. Did you cut open that filter, or what did you do to that filter?
No, that's from the gasket. That is the gasket of the filter. Are you familiar with those filters?
Yeah, I am. I've got a carbon filter in my house as well. And
okay, that's the bottom gasket. So the filter was sitting down with this gasket down, and all this gunk accumulated at the bottom of the filter inside the housing. Okay. Okay. And it's not huge amount, it's a decent amount. And if I leave it, if I leave it longer than 2-3 months, then it starts accumulating. It looks gross, but I just don't do it because
all right.
Okay.
All right. Yep. We gotta move on. Okay. Zoning and codes there. Michelle.
Sure. So you should have all gotten a copy of my report. This month, you'll notice it's a little bit different. Craft has started tracking property maintenance code complaints in a new format. So the report you're looking at up on the screen now, it shows the receive date, how it was initiated, whether it was a complaint or it came in from, someone like myself or another borough employee, and then all of the action that was taken with corresponding dates, comments, follow up as to when the compliance date is. Craft is hoping this will allow for much better tracking, and or if committee members, council members have questions, I actually have the ability to go into their system and pull this information myself that I could give you updates without having to reach out to them directly.
Good. Yeah, that gives a little more detail to some of the stuff, that's for sure.
Yes. Does anybody have any questions regarding anything on the report, either this or the other information for permits?
Not unless you got a extra special comment on any of them.
The only thing I would add to this, the snowstorm, that the most recent snowstorm, that was the large snowstorm. There are some properties that are not on this list just because of the dates that have been contacted about their inability or refusal to remove snow from their sidewalks. The majority of them were commercial businesses along State Hill Road. And as of this morning, all but one are in compliance.
Okay.
There are a few residential places out there.
Well, I missed that, Steve. What was it?
There are a few residential places out there.
Yeah, and I have a question about the State Hill Road from, excuse me, from the railroad bridge out under the bypass, out that way. That sidewalk has not been touched. In the past, we've plowed that, Jim.
Yes, that is correct. I was going to bring that up where we were just incapable after that storm with our normal apparatus because there's no planting strip there. Our machine couldn't get through. We tried with the backhoe, but because the backhoe sits on street level, there was a multitude of issues that we still need to address and address in the long term when we get heavy snows there, because our normal equipment is incapable of doing that.
What about that
But,
gadget I saw running around down the stone house on the sidewalks that had like a snow blower thing on the front of it?
That's great for virgin snow on a sidewalk. Not even close to a 5-foot snow pile on a sidewalk. Can't do it. Not even close.
Well, I'm just saying that I know a lot of people walk along there that are heading over in that
Yeah.
direction sometimes.
Yeah.
I think we ought to be tackling that one. And
Yeah.
also
It
with
is-
some others I've seen, some are businesses, some are private homes. Are they like given a notice, Michelle, or what happens with them?
So, I mean, the two residential properties I'm aware of that didn't shovel, that got actual NOVs posted on their front door are 1223 Girard and 1201 Reading Boulevard. What typically happens is, if Chris notices it, he leaves a card on the door, knocks, and attempts to have a conversation with the owner. If there's no response within 24 hours, then he just goes back and posts the front door.
Okay, I saw there was some on Lake from Penn Avenue up Lake I saw. That's, I assume, a residential one there. And there were some other business ones, and I did see one that's actually on my corner there at Evans. The guy, I think somebody was actually just clearing it off today, maybe in anticipation of Thursday, I don't know. But there were some others too that weren't totally clear. And the crosswalks on the boulevard where there's like a pedestrian thing that goes, across the mall thing, those are ours too, aren't they?
They would be, that would be my understanding. I mean,
Yeah.
the property owner is only responsible for the sidewalk directly adjacent to their
Right.
actual property.
Yeah, I guess what I meant was, but we're not clearing them off. Is that right, Jim? Just
I'm
asking.
unclear. I'm unclear of which one,
Well,
what area you're referring to.
Okay, well, I'm going to go down to what would be the 1200 block of Reading Boulevard. There's that one in particular, because I just drove past it and walked past it. The pedestrian crosswalk to get across the boulevard from north to south or south to north is not clear. Don't we clear those?
Are you talking about between malls or something else?
No, on the mall itself.
Oh. $1,200 block, Reading Boulevard. I don't know. I'll have to look. I can't give you a good answer without looking. I don't know.
And
Apparently we missed that. Yeah.
Jim, that's between 1201 and 1215 Reading Boulevard.
All right. I'll have to look at that. I don't know. Somehow it probably got missed. Yeah.
Only that one? I don't know. I didn't look at the others, to be honest with you. I just happened to be past that one. I thought I'd ask. Okay, well, I saw that there was, obviously, I know there was a big mess during the storm, but 2 weeks later, I think we can catch up with some of that stuff. At least I would hope so.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so what are we gonna do about State Hill Road? Nothing.
Well, to do it with the way it is now, we will need to go in there perpendicular with the backhoe. We can do it with the backhoe, but we'd have to block traffic in some fashion because he's going to have to come in perpendicular to push it off the rear of the sidewalk. That's the answer to do it. And to be honest with you, we'll probably wait till after Thursday's storm to let that accumulate, and then we'll do it all at one time.
All right. If we're complaining about other people, I think we ought to do our own too.
Yeah, I agree.
All right. Okay, anything else with Michelle's stuff?
Not unless
Yeah.
anybody has any, oh, sorry.
Yeah, Michelle, how about commercial signage? What's the story with them to upkeep? And I bring it up because the sign for the Inn at Reading right along the bypass is all blown apart. And I don't think it does very good advertising for them in the first place, unless it is good for them, because those are the people they want that don't care what the place looks like.
It's
So-
funny you say that because I noticed the same thing driving past there this weekend and asked Chris to take a look at it. So, I mean, yes, it's actually in the zoning ordinance and in the property maintenance code, so they would have to maintain it.
Yeah, it looks terrible. I mean, a lot of it's all blown away.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out if a PennDOT plow went through and actually threw snow that far that it took the sign out or what happened there, but it's a frame with just a gigantic hole. So we are
Michelle-
looking into that.
Michelle, that sign's been damaged since that storm between Christmas and New Year's, or right before Christmas.
To the one in December.
Yes,
Okay.
Was it damaged before that, Bill?
it was, when I saw it was the week before Christmas and New Year's, and I saw it damaged then.
Well, they were one of the businesses that Chris had to go out and remind them to shovel their sidewalk, so he was somewhat looking forward to going back and having something else to talk to them about.
All right, well, keep after those businesses too.
Hey, take the fire trucks along. They're there all the time anyway.
They are.
You can wash it away. All right. Moving on here to Lincoln Drainage. Anything there, Jim McCarthy?
I actually, I wasn't at the last meeting, but I thought maybe this should have come off. I thought the council informed the residents that they weren't going to be involved in a cost share.
That's correct.
Okay, then this can come off, so we'll just leave it open on. We'll circle back with the residents in springtime when they can start doing the work and see, just check in and make sure they do it correctly.
Okay, so Melissa, that can come off for next time.
Yeah, I'll take it off.
Okay. Sanitary sewer there.
We pay app number 4 for Mr. Rehab that we need actual recommendation on. For
Okay.
$81,498.40.
All right, so we need a motion for that. Someone care to make that motion?
Melissa, can you bring up the capital report on that, please?
Thank you.
There you go.
Okay. So we'll still have the retainage there.
Well, there'll be a pay app number 2 yet. This is just number 1. They're close to being done, but they're not done yet.
Right. I mean, so far we've holding that amount though, right?
Well, we're holding 10% of 81,000.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, we're holding 10% of 90,000, paying them 81,000.
I'm sorry.
Oh, you got it. I see the number there. Okay, so we need a motion for council there, recommendation.
So moved.
Second,
Second.
First and a second there, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay,
Is that a new form? Is that a new form we should be using? I've never seen one of them before.
Jim, that's a finance committee recommendation that we see where we stand with all the jobs.
Okay, no, I just know, we've been using the AIA or Engineers Document Council one, which has a lot more info on that, but than that, so I just wanted to make sure. No problem. I
We'll
don't
probably
have.
need that when you go over budget.
What's that?
We'll need that when you go over budget.
Okay.
All right. Sanitary sewer rehab.
We're
I'm
working on-
working with McCarthy's office. We'll probably have that ready to bid in a month or so.
Correct.
It's not ready yet.
Okay. And the pump station? Project?
That should actually just say, shouldn't say preparing bid documents, it should just be the part 2 permit. We'll have to work on that. The plan would be to submit the DEP probably in 2 or 3 months and have the permit by the end of the year, hopefully, or beginning of next year.
Okay, so progress there. Okay, so we can strike the prep thing.
Right, it's not at the point for bidding documents. I think that was the typo carry over there.
All right. All right, water main replacement.
Mr. Bowser,
Yep, go ahead.
I'd like to request that item number 7 be put into executive session due to contract discussion.
Okay, so we do that after we get through the rest?
Yeah, that'd be fine.
Okay. All right, skipping over number 7, we'll go to 8. Streets.
The 50/50 sidewalk, I believe I mentioned this before, there were, I think, 49 people that applied last year that we paused on. We contacted those people and I believe all of them said, yes, they're still interested. I started going out and looking at the sidewalk, marking the sidewalk for to get the information for the bidding document. I need another couple days yet because after the snow, it's kind of tough to do that. So as soon as we get enough snow melt and I can finish marking sidewalk, we'll be ready to bid that.
Okay. And you think anybody else will join in this year too?
And that was another question I had is I had 2 people who called me after the application period last year. And I said, we took applications, that period is over. We're not doing the project, but if we do it next year, call me January, February, and I'll let you know if we're doing it. I had 2 of those phone calls. So, do we want to let those people in? We haven't advertised that we're opening this up again, but these were people who questioned to get in last year that we said no to.
I vote yes, we
Because
do.
they were late.
Yeah, I do
So do
too.
I.
Anything that helps our sidewalk stuff is good.
Yeah. Okay, I will let so there'll probably be there'll be 50 or 51 people at this point that will be involved.
Good. That's good. Yeah. All right. And then the street improvements there.
No action at this point on that.
Nothing. Okay. And the 4th Street.
We've pay application number 4 for Barwis for $116,938.13.
Okay, and an update there, anything special?
They're done working for the winter time because of the weather. So they, most of the curbing is installed on what would have formerly been Innovation Way and Equisys property. And that's kind of where they got wrapped up for the winter when the weather hit. So they'll be picking back up in springtime, but with the mild November, December, they're about a month ahead of schedule from where we planned.
All right, so I'll need a motion for payment app number 4.
Finances.
So moved.
Second. Okay, a first and a second, and all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. Opposed? Ayes have it. Okay.
Hey, Jim McCarthy,
Yes.
that the row, excuse me, that we have percentage complete, that seemed to be about right to you?
It
says we're 33% complete. Is that about right?
Let me check mine. 4th Street, we are saying Yeah, right around,
Okay, good.
about a third complete. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Anything with the bridge at the YR?
Oh, Jim, do you want to talk about our meeting last week or should I?
No, you can. Have fun.
So Jim, myself and Colleen had a conference call with various representatives from PennDOT last week. The short version is for the Ped Bridge and the two other potential projects we're requesting PennDOT to allow us to use their grant funds for. We are going to have to do right-of-way, environmental, and utility clearances, as well as go through an RFP process to come back and still select McCarthy. So coming out of that meeting, Jim McCarthy and I talked to Colleen, and we have a meeting set up for this Thursday morning to talk through looking at the possibility of using the PennDOT funding for construction of 4th Street and talking to DCED about them allowing us to use their grant funding for the expansion of scope, since DCED does not require any of the clearances or the RFP process.
Okay, and should we just look at that as optimistic or what?
Not optimistic if we stick with it through PennDOT. Jim, do you have anything you want to add to that?
No, it's other than it is the PennDOT portion of that is very bureaucratic, almost overwhelmingly bureaucratic.
Yeah, it's definitely it's paperwork on top of paperwork for paperwork's sake. Even when we told them, we said, why do we need right-of-way clearance when everything's on the property the borough owns? Still have to go through right-of-way clearance. Okay.
Well, on top of the unbudgeted expenses to do those clearances. I mean, the RFP process really isn't an expense. It's me putting together an RFP I'm going to send out to some firms who I feel horrible wasting their time and energy asking for them to respond, knowing we're going to award it to McCarthy since they've already done the design. And I explained that to PennDOT, and the answer we got is, if you want to use, the design and engineering as any portion of your contribution, meaning our required match, or as a reimbursable cost, you need to do this process.
What's the total cost of this, Jim? 80.
This was the $633,000 grant from PennDOT, and then our match was
roughly 200-ish.
For that bridge?
No, just the bridge is around 250.
Holy crow.
Yeah, bridges aren't cheap.
It's the bridge, the stormwater MS4 project behind Berkshire Boulevard, and the culvert there and the wetlands behind Sweets. Those were the three projects earmarked for it.
All right, so we'll wait until after the meeting to hear how that goes.
Yeah, I'm hoping we come up with a game plan. Colleen's very familiar with both programs, what the requirements are for each and what reimbursement is like for each. So she was the one who actually suggested we consider flipping the two. So I would suggest we wait to hear what, she says on our call on Thursday, and then we can update the committee.
Michelle, so you're suggesting taking some of the PA PennDOT money and move it to the bridge and then hope to get reimbursed elsewhere for the 4th Street project? Is that what you're saying?
No, we're suggesting take the 633 from PennDOT and use it entirely for construction of 4th Street.
And then take 633 from DCED and use it for the 3 projects. Because DCED, it was actually my idea, because DCED wouldn't require those clearances. And we were all ready to hang ourselves after the PennDOT phone call when all that was thrown at us, that they were going to require those.
Wow. All right,
just-
so we'll wait for that. That's why the founding fathers did the stuff themselves, I guess.
If it weren't 633 million or $633,000, I would strongly suggest we just not consider taking the money, but that's a lot of money to walk away from.
No, I know, I'm just a thought. Okay, so we'll wait for that. So progress and, next meeting we'll have a better answer, do you think, or what?
I certainly hope so.
Yeah.
All right. All right, the Public Works Facility, how about that one?
Colleen and Kathy are working on that one. Council did approve resubmitting for the 2021 round of grant funding.
Right. So we just gotta wait for that then too, right?
Correct. I mean, the application period's open. We're in the process of submitting. Those awards won't be announced until, I'm guessing, fall of this year at the earliest.
Okay. All right. And then 11 there, the storm flood damage, Brandywine, Lincoln. Any progress there, Jim?
No, we'll be coming up on that shortly, though.
Okay. You have all the stuff now or not?
We have all the materials, yes.
Okay, good. All right, and then Verizon there, Michelle?
Chris and I presented that briefly to the Planning Commission at their meeting last week.
Yeah.
The attorney for Verizon also responded to the draft ordinance with some comments she had regarding FCC regulations and things. In her opinion, we need to change to comply with that. So Chris is looking through those comments. We'll revise the draft and then take it back to the Planning Commission for their March meeting.
Okay. So progress,
Yes.
all right. Okay, and the Woodland Road signal for the school. Anything else there?
I talked to Mike Cafancelli. That is on the agenda for the February 22nd school district board meeting. So I don't see any reason the board would not be agreeable to the revised language in that agreement, as it takes all responsibility off the school district. So I would anticipate we'll be getting that back by the end of the month.
Okay. All right. Anyone have anything else before we go into executive here?
We have anything else to talk about when we come back?
Probably
I
not.
have an objection.
Well, I'm not done. I'm sorry, I wasn't done talking. So I do have a couple of things I'd like to just throw out there, Jim. I saw the, whatever those wood pylons, and this isn't something that's to be done today. The wood pylons or whatever you call them, guide rails above the Berkshire Heights playground. In the spring, there's going to be 70 kids, probably 30 feet from that road, swinging baseball bats in that cage. I think we need to try to figure out something with guide rails there, because if a truck goes over there, we're going to take out a half a class in Wyomissing School District.
Steve, that kind of falls under me. That's an area that Dwayne, Dan, and I looked at and talked about. And
Sorry, Jim.
looking
I'm happy about that.
looking at the cost for when we put the guardrail in, I believe it was 2019 above the tennis courts at the Stone House. I mean, that's what it comes down to. It would be an unbudgeted expense. We can certainly do it. It's just getting a cost estimate together and installing it.
Well, anybody who hasn't driven by there, go by and then stop and look down the hill. How far down the hill? Nothing's going to stop it from running into those batting cages. And if it does it the wrong time, it's going to be a really, really, really bad day.
Yeah, I've seen that. That's all on Spring Street, I think there, right?
I have absolutely no idea what street that is.
Yeah, it's at the intersection of Crossing and Spring Street. That is one of those, projects that are identified as a capital parks project. That's going to be on a 5-year plan that we're in the process of putting those cost estimates together for. But I agree that can't wait 5 years.
No.
The other thing I have question is, can we put something on the, and maybe we did this and I apologize if we did. When we get a big snowstorm, maybe we can ask the public if they have the ability to dig out their fire hydrants. I think that'd be a good idea. I know just so you guys know, the football team did do between West Reading and Wyomissing, Jim Babs, I don't know how many were Wyomissing, how many were, they did about 43 of them. I think they dug out 43 fire hydrants. Now that's kid counting, so that might be means there's really only 38 done. I don't know. But you know, if we get a big enough snowstorm, the football team will do it again. But I think really we should put some out there just to bring up awareness to say, I didn't even think about it. Let me go do it quick.
Yeah, we should really take some pictures now and then put it in the fall newsletter of next year.
Yeah.
Would be.
But even if you just throw something up on the website saying, hey, if you have the ability, please clean out the hydrant. It can't hurt. If no one does it, so be it.
We can do that.
Fire department used to have a program, it was called, I don't know, what was it? Adopt a Hydrant, I think it was, or something. Bill, remember?
Yes, it was the Adopt a Hydrant program. And we got about 10%, if that, people following that. I know this year the fire department did publish on Facebook the same thing, clearing 3 feet circumference around the hydrants.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good idea. I mean, I know the guys usually have this time of year on the back, they usually have a shovel or two strapped there, but it does delay hooking up to a hydrant if it's something they need to do.
No question.
Delays it a lot, but I think that we can still call it that, adopt a hydrant if you want. It sounds, I don't know, a little more public friendly, I guess we'll call it, but and we can put it on the website and wherever else, I don't know, Facebook, like you said, Bill, they put it on.
Yeah,
I think
we could put it on.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying, yeah, it could be put on our website. I mean, since the Parks Department has their own website, we put it on that.
Yeah, put it on everything. Who cares? Just
yeah.
If we get 2 more dug out, we get 2 more dug out.
I don't know. I agree.
I can feed my time.
Well, no, I think we need to thank you to the football guys there for helping too. I don't know if we need a little note or something. I don't know.
Let them do it again, then send them a note.
Yeah.
Well, if you're counting that as part of one of their workouts, okay. There we go. All right. Well, I think we should say something so that they know that they've been.
We can bring it up the next council meeting if you don't mind. If Tom, if you want to say something next council meeting.
Yeah, I think it should be. That's appreciated, and it's a neat idea. Okay.
By the way, that's got picked up on. I think the field hockey coach said they're going to send. That could multiply by a bunch of different teams.
Okay. All righty. Anything else, Steve?
No, I'm done. I'm sorry.
No, that's all right. Okay, then we will now adjourn to executive session for a.
Chairman, I was waiting to voice an objection.
Go ahead.
I had to go get the big book out, Mr. Hartman.
All right, can I anticipate your complaint, Mr. Jadik? And I'd like to clarify the intent of the executive session is to consult with me regarding information in connection with issues on which complaints are expected to be filed.
Complaint expected to be filed when we have a contract advertised.
All right, I'm going to the next meeting.
Yeah, we may have official action after the executive session. So I would ask that we return.
Okay. We go.